Everyone, Ramadan Kareem. Honorable Founder Chairman, Mr. Mohan Jashanmalji, Mr. Abu Saleh, the chief guest of today's function, and dear boys and the staff. It's a great honor and a privilege to have two personalities with us. Mr. Mohan Jashanmal has been the mentor, taking care and loved Addis, I think, the most. It's always a pleasure to have you serve with us. And Mr. Abu Saleh, for over 2 decades, has been the guide, the friend, the philosopher, and a big support anytime Addis required. He has been guiding me since I have come. His vision for the school, his vision for the country is amazing. Coming from India and making this country as a home and working throughout for the welfare of 2 countries, that's what he has been doing always. Thank you, sir, for being here. As we say, we're starting a very holy month. Sir has already described a lot of things. We always say 2 important: the self-discipline and self-respect. If you have 2 these things, I'm sure you're closer to the God. Because you understand your consciousness, where you are, with that you work. Already so many things have been talked about. But I always feel that before you sleep, I'm sure you need to recollect, did you harm anybody today? Did you talk bad about anybody today? Did you say anything bad today? Or did you do something bad today? I'm sure if you retrospect the day's work, it will give you an insight what is correct for you, and I'm sure you will not repeat next day. That only makes us evolve and improve in our own way. Thank you, sir, once again. I'm sure we start the month with a great note. I would like to just inform you, the girls' side, they have a Goodwill Ambassador Club, and along with the entire senior girls, they contributed, and we have put a food fridge and a water cooler outside the main gate, this gate where the security is there. The food fridge concept, I'm sure most of you must be knowing. Please, you can keep the food which is good enough, clean enough, decent enough for anybody to eat. You can buy food also and you can keep it if you wish to. And the second one, we have put the water cooler, of course, for all people who can just drink anytime they want. So kindly note, when you're putting the food over there, if you wish to, make sure it's the same what you eat. It's not a waste, or it's not half eaten of yours that you think so you don't want to eat and you keep it there. Please don't do that. It's always recommended that you give a fresh, good food so that whoever eats, definitely the blessing will come, and all blessings, small or big, counts in a life. Thank you.
And thank you for giving me this opportunity to be part of this great assembly, first of all. And I am much humbled by the introduction your convener has given about me, and he is showing my home library. So you may be expecting I am a very talkative person. I can talk, but mostly in Arabic. But also in English, something I would like to share, which I have already did with your girls' wing. I have been asked to speak on Ramadan and what is its significance in our life. So the Quranic verses recited at the start of the assembly, there is one verse before that is verse number 183. يا أيها الذين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. In this verse, the very first verse about the fasting in Ramadan or Siyam Ramadan, its purpose is already declared, but it depends how we understand it. So I have already spoken a while ago with the girls' wing, but just I want to have a kind of 2 minutes interaction with the same concept, so that I will not be boring and those who attended the previous assembly, they will not get bored because of the repetition. The key word in this verse is taqwa. Anybody knows the meaning of taqwa in Arabic, in English, in Urdu, in Hindi? Yes?
Fear towards Allah.
Fear towards Allah, fear of God. Yeah, any other meaning? One more? God consciousness. Wonderful. Were you in the assembly previous assembly? Okay. Anyway, there are some number of translations given to the word taqwa, but the best which I understand based on my knowledge of Arabic is God consciousness. So well done that I select. But again, the next point is how to explain God consciousness. Does it mean a particular dress or a style of life or walking a particular way or just keeping yourself hungry and thirsty for the whole day? No. God consciousness is basically the motivating force behind human character. If it is consciously and understood and consistently practiced, you will become a godly person. You will become a truly good human being, which Almighty God wanted everyone to be. So let me explain it. The human behavior or character is the most difficult thing to define as well as the most difficult thing to control. Humans are the only creature who can fool themselves and others under any circumstances. I have given some examples in the previous talk, but I can't go to detailing it. But let me give you one example. For example, if you have traveled through the train in India, so you will be surprised to know that how many damages there are. An estimated damage of the railway property that crosses 50 million rupees in one state. And you know the Indian railway system is the largest in the world. Like India is the largest democracy. The Indian railway can in one day transport the entire population of Australia from one corner to another. 23 million is the Australian population. That means every day on Indian railway 23 million people travel. So this, if 1 rupee loss or damage is caused to the railway, that means 23 million at least every day will be lost. Indian Railway is trying to prevent that kind of damages. They write number of slogans that railway सामाजिक प्रॉपर्टी है, इसको नुकसान पहुंचाना समाज को नुकसान पहुंचाना. For example, but still you find in the toilets, in the various places of railway, people break or steal the light, or even they steal the railway lines. So despite all awareness campaign, social campaign, and educating people, requesting them that this is our national property, samajik property, don't damage the railways. It is happening. What is the solution? I think the solution is God consciousness. Human beings can only be controlled by something beyond himself, some power, some authority in front of whom he cannot argue, he cannot debate anymore. And that can be only your creator if you truly believe in it. So taqwa means to cultivate in yourself, A, that you are not the owner or the creator of the universe, not the maker of anything. You have been made by somebody, and He is your creator, your Lord. Secondly, you have to believe that He is all powerful, all knowing. Thirdly, you have to accept that you are lower than Him. Whatever your position, you may be a billionaire, you may be a head of a state, but still, in front of Him, you have no authority. You are accountable for everything you say and you do. When these things consciously become part of your mind, then your behavior can only change. Otherwise, you can fool the world and ultimately you can fool yourself. You can damage the world, you can damage yourself. You know, on the traffic signals, there are traffic rules. Traffic rules breaking is basically against you. Traffic rules are made for your own safety and security. Still, people break the rules. When they feel they are beyond shurta limit or there is no radar to catch them, they cross the limit. Even taxi drivers who are penalized harshly, if they break the traffic rule or cross the speed limit, one taxi driver told me if they 3 times are recorded as over speeding, they will lose their job, and still they exceed the limit. Why? Because they think they can escape. Maybe nobody can catch us. They just guess it. God consciousness or taqwa means you don't guess all these things. You simply know that your Lord is each and every second watching and recording everything you do or say or even you think of it. And you can't hide it. He has given you freedom, He has let you free, but ultimately He will hold you responsible for everything, every use of this freedom of speech and freedom of action. Let me sum up by practical example, just very brief. Once a maid servant of Prophet became late. He sent her to bring water for making ablution, wudu. She got very much late and Prophet got angry, means got anxious. When she entered, so in his irritation and anger, he just wanted to scold her, but he didn't. He simply told her that he had a miswak. You know the siwak, miswak? There is a tree there that clean the toothpick. What is called in English? Neem, yeah. It is a piece of branch of a tree. They clean the teeth. So that is called miswak or siwak in Arabic. Even Dabur has its 2 spares and called miswak. So I think you can understand. Yeah. So Prophet had miswak, which is just a 1 foot long. He just pointed out to the maid servant and told her that had I not the consciousness of God, fear of God in the hereafter to be accountable for harming anyone, I would have punished you by this stick, this miswak. So Prophet himself, being a righteous person, still had that consciousness of God that I have no right to physically harm anybody in the world. I have to be harmless. I have to tolerate the shortcomings of others. This is God consciousness in any capacity, and he was the unopposed and absolute ruler of the entire Arabia at that time. But he didn't dare to cause any harm to his own maidservant for even a genuine reason. Another example, the Prophet was passing by a home. He heard someone shouting at his slave boy and was having a stripe in his hand and was about to hit him in anger. The Prophet shouted from behind, "I'lam Aba Mas'ud, I'lam Aba Mas'ud, Lallahu aqdaru alayka minka ala hadha al-ghulam." His name was Abu Mas'ud, and he told him that God is more powerful than you on this slave. He heard this, and the stripe was slipped from his hand, and he was trembling. And he said, "This slave is free from today. I am no more his master." This is God's consciousness, which makes the master and slave equal, which makes the ruler and ruled equal. which makes one and all be tolerant of and loving of and compassionate of each other. So let us hope and pray this month of fasting and in this year of tolerance, this blessed month will make one and all God-conscious people, our character will develop, and we make this country and the entire world a better, the loving, the beautiful, and the most peaceful place for everybody. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.